Hey guys, today's Monday, no news Monday. I'm back from vacation. Today was actually not really a clean day, I have to admit, but yeah, was also not really managed well by myself. So today, yeah, definitely not easy price action. I think the direction was clear higher, but we were definitely having a bit, yeah, just troubles to expand higher. Um, some manipulation, some time distortion. So lots of trades taken here, lots of stops, yeah, stop outs basically, which are once again probably avoidable. But let's start on the daily time frame once again. So what we have is basically that we really dropped down on Friday, and definitely I do believe that we have now basically more like bearish potential. I do believe that we eventually will continue trading lower. For the next days, especially for Wednesday, where we definitely will see an expansion day, as I expect, hopefully, also with high impact news. But yeah, after such a strong downclosed day, we don't want to really chase lower prices. We expect a retracement, therefore we are more bullish than bearish. Also, hourly chart, just we have the daily quadrant wicks right there reacting off it. And also really interesting that we have also a daily SMT with yes, but you can already see that we are just in a kind of bullish price action. We scrapped Asia lows, which is also I think a SMT with yes, yeah, right there, marked it out right there as well. So kind of in bullish conditions, but yeah, we are kind of also having really troubles trading higher, so equal highs right there. Yeah, we scrapped the open kill zone, buys liquidity, trade higher, and right there basically reached yeah 29,600. From there and sold off with also the opening. And yeah, I think with that we can drop to electronic trading hours. That's really interesting for today. So because we were trading higher overnight, we had a really huge aggressive movement gap. So 700 handles right there. Yeah, we are just in trending conditions. Therefore, we want to see that we trade back to the upper quarter level and from there and continue higher. What I do not really like today is the fact that we are really sloppy. So as you see right there, we closed below the lower quadrant level, sorry, upper quadrant level of our today's new open range gap, but still continued our trend to the upside, still respected the quadrant levels. And yeah, I think that's just probably permissible on a no news Monday, and also kind of more likely to happen than on every other day. But yeah, that's just something I had troubles with. But yeah, I think it's definitely a more reasonable draw for price to trade higher. So opening right there, that doesn't look really clean. Yeah, right there. So with the opening, we yeah traded lower, as you can see right there, and then really had this just really consolidation in here. I don't really know if we can look for anything in here. Yeah, to me it was obvious that we're going to trade back to the excess liquidity right there, kind of equal lows. That's really unfinished business. We cannot look for longs in here. That's too overbought. So we just stay patient. We want to see that we trade also back to the upper quadrant level, and that's what we did. But from there it was already quite difficult. So my first trade was basically based already on the fair gap right there. And I entered long a bit late, I have to admit, and already stopped my trade my stop really tight. I was trading today, once again, I'm only trading 2 contracts, but yeah, I was not really aware of today's volatility, and therefore I had a really tight stop and already got stopped right there. And what I did not like is basically, or what I was kind of unexpected, how we yeah, closed below the fair gap right there. But I think in that case, it's also a bit okay, right? Because we have this huge important 5-minute rejection block, and that's really important. So which formed also right at 10 a.m. That's really important. So 10 a.m. opening right there, rejection block, traded into it on a 5-minute chart, and from there traded higher. So really clear structure on a 5-minute chart. It's just a bit more difficult on a 1-minute chart because we have just more time distortion. We have just more high resistance trading higher. What it's likely on a no news Monday, especially if we have really overpriced conditions and so on. But yeah, we swapped says liquidity. We had this really clear structure. I think I also went short because of the inverse in there, and I was looking for basically says liquidity right there. In that case, I think that's also because of the fact that we closed below the upper quadrant level of our Newton range gap. But in that case, it was not really aligned with the high time frame. The high time frame is always more important than regular trading hours. In that case, the slightly close below the upper quadrant level of our Newton range gap quadrant is permissible, especially on a day like today. So that was definitely too rushed, got stopped, also went long, and I think that's actually the perfect long right there. Especially with the fact that we have such a aggressive displacement higher, that we create the fair gap right there, that we trade into the 5-minute rejection block. So basically Powell would trade would have a limit order right there, would have his stop below the 10 a.m. low basically, and would look for, I don't know, something like that. So that would be Powell's trade. Because we are not Powell, we don't trade like that. We wait for displacement, we wait for fair gaps, for inversion fair gaps, but I really do like his concepts, his idea of the rejection block, especially combined with 10 a.m. manipulation below says liquidity and with a reversal being in play. Let me just really quick check if we have any SMT being in play right there. So no, actually, we do have. So actually, we do have SMT being in play right there as well, which I was actually not aware of, but makes the trade a bit more high quality. Still, to enter right there would have been also here your completely possible valid trade entry within your fair gap, and then we put our stop below the swing low. In that case, we already traded back into the 5-minute rejection block. We don't need to see that we trade back to it, also below the wick of the it could also be like that, so below the wick of the fair gap, but I think like this it's way better. And then we aim basically just for the really equal buy liquidity, the AM session liquidity, because we trade a regular trading hours continuation. We only want to aim for AM session liquidity and not even for more. And that would be your trade. 3.56 risk to reward. That would be a trade. But because I kind of over leveraged, not by trading more contracts, but just by trading basically my normal contract size. But because we are this volatile, I have to size down. I wasn't really aware of that, but because I already took previous losses, I wanted to continue trading with the same size. I know that's not the best approach, but I'm still not there where I want to be. But yeah, so really back and forth trading here. I was not really aware of the kind of the narrative we had in here, because I did not want to see that we'd close below the wick right there. So that's also what I did not like. So I mean, a short-term run stops, that's permissible, but a close below the low right there, I don't really like to see that. So to me, that's really bearish in here, I have to admit. I think that's kind of also still permissible because we created SMT and we are staying within the upper quadrant of the fair gap right there. But to trade back into it, I think it's not really worth it, especially because I really like the inversion fair gap right there. So which is to me really important because we used it basically to trade below this as liquidity right there. I would have liked to see a more significant speed, basically higher, so that we only trade back into the fair gap right there and from there on trade higher. But yeah, today not really easy conditions, back and forth in here. and then basically entered right there with 2 contracts, added also 1 right there, took my first 2 contracts off right there, and my last contract got stopped right there, because with that I was break even, and that's what I was only allowed to aim for today, because yeah, today I definitely was not really trading too well. I have to admit, it definitely was not easy regarding regular trading hours as well. Also the time distortion we had in here, but I think still the setup is clear with the 5-minute rejection block, also right there. So it's just more comes down to the fact that I have to size down, that I have to keep proper risk management, and that's basically it. So I really like how we utilize the CB right there, trade back to consequent encroachment, and trade higher, and also continue trading higher. But yeah, so that's basically today's trade. Hope you learned something new, and yeah, probably see you tomorrow or Wednesday. I don't really know. Depends on we trade tomorrow, because tomorrow once again is a no news day and we are in advance of CPI. So yeah, we have to see. But that's basically it, and yeah, see you soon.